starting this vlog from the park. It's actually a very cool place here nearby. Funny situation, I decided today to film here in the park. I specifically came here in the middle of the day when nobody is around, because usually on the weekends and maybe in the evenings there are more families here and just people with their dogs, and right now it's like calm and everything, and I was happy that I could like sit down on one of the tables and have nobody around me, because I still have some difficulties in filming in public with people around me. I will overcome this at some point. I couldn't even sit down because there were a million flies, but the type of flies that are these tiny flies that are usually sitting in the grass, and there were so many of them, maybe because it rained this past couple of days, and I actually don't know why and what attracts them, but there were a lot of flies sitting in the grass and I was covered with them. I mean my pants. I'm wearing like white pants. I will try to show this to you like that. I noticed like maybe 20 flies just sitting on me, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I have to leave immediately. So I found this bench right now, and it's a little hot right now, so I'm going to be quick, hopefully, and then I will get a nice cold coffee maybe somewhere. Everything goes not according to the plan. My camera right now, I'm holding it so it doesn't like fall from the bench. I don't want to just leave it by itself, and I didn't get any tripod with me, so I will try to say you real quick the story about my American driver's license and the process. I am actually very excited because today it was the first time that I actually took the car by myself and went like for a walk and to film for you guys. I'm so excited that I can finally drive by myself and I can run my errands and basically live, you know, more independently, because 2 years ago when I moved here, I already had my Greek driver's license and I was allowed to drive here with it for up to 1 year. It depends on every state. If you live in New Jersey, you can just exchange your, I think you exchange your international driver's license with the American one, and I think you just have to do the theory test to answer the questions and that's it. You don't need to do a road test. But according to the Pennsylvania rules, you actually have to do the road test and you have to pass both exams, the theory and the road test. And it was an annoying process for me because I had to go over this for another time. Not that it was a big deal, not that I struggled a lot, because I had my practice. I already had my license. I basically have driven here in the US. It was annoying just not to be able to until I get the license. So I've been studying. I did the practice exams that are online. It's actually very easy. You don't have to go to a school here. They don't demand you to do that. On the contrary, Greece actually demands you to go to a driver's school, and you have to pay them a certain amount of money for their services, and then they schedule an exam for you and you basically do your road test and you pass. But here you can practice after you do your theory exam online, or you have to go to the DMV, to the center here. You receive your learner's permit, and this is basically an allowance for you to drive, but not by yourself. You have to have another adult with you who is a driver, who has a driver's license. And basically that was like my life. I've been driving with my husband in the car, and basically we've been doing all the errands together. We would go to the gym together. It's nice, I don't mind that. It's actually very cute and nice that we've been doing this stuff, and we will continue doing all this stuff. But it's also important for me to live more independently, and that's why this is now so exciting for me, and I'm glad that I passed through it. About the road exam, it's actually so much easier here. It's literally a joke compared to Greece. You are practicing the parking situation, the parallel parking, and you have to also do something else that I cannot really explain to you what is that. You basically have to back off with your car at the corner of the street, something like that. You have to just drive on the street normally. So we've been practicing in Greece in a normal road situation, not going on a highway, but basically driving around. And we have much smaller streets over there, everything is much tinier, and the parking spots are tinier, so it's much more complicated. But here they have you practicing in the parking lot with orange big cones that indicate like imaginary two cars, and you have to park in between them and practice your parallel parking. Complicated for me because I was used to a specific way how to park, and now I had to learn it a little bit differently. But the road itself, the route that I had to do, it was a joke. It was just one around the shopping mall. It was something like that, but it had everything. It had an intersection, it had stop signs, it had yield signs, left turns, right turns, street lights, everything that you can imagine that you have to pay attention. Basically, this route had everything, and I guess that's why they just make it simple for them. Overall, my test was maybe even 10 minutes long, and thankfully this time I was not that worried as it was the first time in Greece, because in Greece, despite the fact that you have to pay like 600 euros approximately, it depends per school, but usually it's somewhere like that. It used to be more expensive back in the day, but now they reduced it because the economical situation in Greece is significantly different than in United States. That's why this amount is a significant amount for people over there. So I paid that. Basically, the examinators there in Greece, some of them are according to the rules and they do not accept extra money, extra cash that you can give them, so they pass you for sure. But some of them, and most of them, actually accept extra cash in case you want to be sure that they are not going to fail you. And this used to be a big issue back in the day when my parents got their driver's license. Some of my friends, they had to actually give extra cash. I decided that, first of all, I didn't have extra cash, and I thought, I am good enough. I will try to really pass with my skills. And I was so lucky because I got an examinator who actually would not accept anything. He would go according to the rules. And my teacher, I remember, he told me that, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'm so happy. That means that everything will be by the rule, and I will be judged and tested according to my skills. And that was just amazing. I passed. I was so worried. I remember I had a migraine after the test, I guess because I was that worried, but everything went through. I am proud of myself. This is an achievement. I know maybe getting your license in your late 20s, as I did. I got my Greek license at 28, and my American license at 31, but to be honest, I didn't have to use a car before in my life. When I was living in Greece, I had everything nearby. Even when I was working, I just would use the metro and go to my work. It was not a big deal to not have a car there, but here it's a completely different story. Everything is far away. For example, to come to this park, I cannot walk from my house. I really need the car. Just your life is easier, but people walk less here because they have to use the car, and they use it for everything: to go to the gym, to go to the supermarket, to get their coffee, to drive children to school, everything. I'm not talking about going to work. I understand that this is important to just use a car and get to work quicker. But for simple things, it's important while you live in the United States, especially in the suburbs, to dedicate a specific time frame in your day when you are actually going to have a walk, just to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a walk, and I'm going to grab a coffee, maybe read a book while I'm drinking it, somewhere in a cool environment because it's pretty hot right now outside, and we'll see you later.
Tenho esse mar todo pra olhar. Tenho as estrelas infinitas pra contar. Tenho o sol brilhando e os patos nadam em par. Meus passos vão mostrando o prazer de observar as flores no caminho. É agrado que Deus deu.
So I am about to cook actually pasta. I don't know why I said actually, but it's been a while since I had a nice pasta, and there is nothing more spring or summer than asparagus, and in general like different green vegetables in your pasta, I believe. And I had some leftover big asparagus. They were actually really tasty, but right now they're going to be good in the pasta. I have one zucchini, but I'm not going to use all of it because I just want to slice it in very thin layers, just a little bit, not all of it, and I don't know where I'm going to use the rest. Maybe I'll just fry it on the pan tomorrow. Definitely mushrooms, not all of them, maybe half of them. I like using cream cheese in order to create white sauce. I used to use cream for white sauces, but now I think I prefer this because it's more thick and it gives that cohesive texture in the sauce. Thyme fits great with mushrooms, and I also like using some Dijon mustard, just like a teaspoon for extra spiciness. I'm going to use very simple spices like garlic powder if I have some. I'm going to use salt and pepper and maybe some red pepper just to add also spiciness. I'm going to use some butter, olive oil, some white wine over here, just a random white wine. It's nice sometimes to use it in the sauce. Usually we don't have at home any type of wine, but this time we got, and I'm actually excited to use it. But if you don't have wine, it's not a big deal. You can just cook your recipe without it. I have an interesting unboxing today, a matcha actually, that the brand FKRO, matcha, or this is an abbreviation for the word actually fukuro, I hope I pronounce it the right way. Basically, their concept is that matcha can be a mindful and patient process, and fukuro in Japanese means owl actually. That's very interesting that I am learning like new things. As an owl, this process can be really mindful and patient. I think I received a message, so excuse me for the sound. And I have here my unfinished coffee and my notebook just to give some color. Here is, I actually have to put it on silent. This is very cute. I really love their packaging. I really love that they incorporated actually an illustration with here is a lady gathering the matcha. This one is called Ceremonial Reserve Matcha. They had different options for me to pick. You could read on their website like about the flavor and the texture and the result from the matcha based on the flavor always. And I picked this one because it had the flavor more to the sweet side, because I prefer my matcha to be more sweet rather than anything else. And basically that's it for now. I definitely want to try it out, and I'm going to tell you in this vlog my thoughts about matcha. I like to enjoy matcha here and there. I'm not a matcha drinker on everyday basis, just because I never purchased one for my home. I don't have the materials and the tools to actually make it at home, so I will really try to do it maybe with a frother, although I heard that this is not the way how you should do it. And behind here also you can read about the color, about the texture, umami. If I'm correct, umami I think is how sweet is the matcha, if I'm correct. Creaminess. Basically all of that is important. I definitely love it to the sweetest side, and I like it when it is creamy. I want to achieve that not necessarily by adding like milk, but just to enjoy it as it is. It's I know bitter, it's without milk, but I think I really want to give it a shot. So they have everything sealed over here. This container is 30 grams, so like that. Okay, I think I'm going to open it when I'm going to prepare the matcha. It's very refreshing, very like herbal, nutty, maybe roasted just a little bit. Also maybe I added too much milk to this matcha latte. I think I would prefer flavor to be more maybe bitter, but maybe I just need to add more matcha because the instructions said to add just half of teaspoon and mix it with 3 ounces of water. I'm not sure. maybe I need to add slightly more in case I'm making a latte, because when I tried it without the milk, just the matcha tea itself, it was very bitter. I like doing at home most often rather than going out to grab a coffee, because it's just really expensive here in USA to just get a latte. It's like $7 just to get a latte. Not that in Greece it's significantly cheaper, but in Greece I think you can get a latte for 4.50 or for 5 euros. So maybe it makes $6 or $7 anyway. I just don't understand why milk has to cost so much when you mix it just with a little bit of coffee or matcha. Plus also I didn't use any sugar, I didn't use any sweetener. I usually do not drink my coffee beverages with any type of sweeteners, and this time I decided just to not to add anything else. I thought occurred maybe I can add like strawberries to make a strawberry matcha latte, but then I think no, let's just try it as it is so I can give like a honest review. I don't need it sweeter, it's sweet enough. The next time I will just add less milk, I think. So I'm going to actually create my art diaries episode right now. I'm going to continue painting, and I'm planning to integrate this matcha drink also in my reels, in my Instagram reels. And I'm going to show the process of making this matcha latte actually in this short video. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can just go to my Instagram and see it. I definitely am going to post the Instagram reel before posting this vlog. This is the look of the day. We are going to another Greek festival. This is just crazy. This is going to be our 4th one in 1 month, I think. And that's the period, so we cannot help ourselves. I decided to wear the skinny pair of jeans that I have. And this is definitely from several years ago when it was trendy, and I decided to keep them, and apparently it looks sometimes very good, although now it's more trendy the mom jeans or the baggy ones, but they are not that great for fit at the end, that I noticed. So this is the look. The jeans are Zara, I believe. The loafers are, I think it was Marcus Newman, or York Circus is the brand by Marcus Newman. This is what I found in the Nordstrom rack, and they are amazing. They are very, very comfortable loafers, even without socks, to be honest. And I'm pairing it with this brown purse that is also from Zara. The jacket is from Zara from last year. And inside is that yellow crop top, which is one sleeve only. I'm going actually to slightly show you it like that, so you have an understanding. And the top, I think it's mango, which I borrowed from my sister and never returned back. But no, she was okay. She was okay with this. And that's it. And the glasses are Macy's. We just got food at the festival, and Ari has here yemista, which is like stuffed peppers or stuffed tomatoes with rice and ground beef. But they broke on the way to the plate, so it's kind of looking like this right now. And here is the string beans, fasolakya, some bread, and some baked potatoes in the oven. They actually look good. And I have a pikilia platter or sampler, and I can sample today apparently moussaka, pastisio, and panakopita. Unfortunately, it's like a very very small piece, two dolmades and meatballs. Okay, I'm going to focus more here, but I hope everything else is good too. And we were very lucky that we have actually bugatsa here, the sweet pastry with some vanilla custard inside and made from phyllo dough. Not every festival has it, but this festival it has.
Quisiera saber qué se siente, besarte, tenerte de frente. Perdona si soy imprudente, es que no dejo de pensar. ¿Qué pasaría si?
Si un problema no me temo.
¿Qué pasaría si?
I was like, so?
Llevo hace rato buscando un amor como tú. Creo que es un déjà vu. Vine directo a encontrarte.
Esa silueta me marca el camino, es así. Mi amor, no me mires así, que yo solo quiero gustarte.